Good evening. This San Dimas City Council meeting for Tuesday, April 9th will come to order. Please rise and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. City Manager, would you please read the roll?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Nakano? Here. Councilmember Weber?
Here.
Councilmember Ebner?
Here.
Mayor Pro Temp Vienna?
Here.
And Mayor Bedar?
Here.
All councils present and accounted for.
Chris, in accordance with Section 2.16.010 of the San Dimas Municipal Code, the city manager shall serve as the city clerk for this meeting and in her absence. Oral communications. Members of the audience are invited to address the city council in regards to the certification of the election results and the council installation. Members of the audience will be offered another opportunity after certification and installation to provide oral communications on any item on the agenda or not on this agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I have two comment cards that are for the regular meeting oral communication, none for this topic. So I'd ask that you request if anybody wishes to speak, they can speak now about the election certification and election results.
Anyone in the audience wishing to speak concerning the certification, please step up to the podium. Seeing none, we'll move forward. Certification of elections, results, and council installation. Chris, City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The action requested by the City Council is to adopt Resolution 2024-17, a resolution declaring the results and other such matters of the March 5th, 2024 Consolidated General Municipal Election as provided by law. And whereas the municipal election was held and conducted by the Los Angeles County Registrar Recorder, County Clerk in Norwalk, California on Tuesday, March 5th, 2024 as required by law, and whereas notice of the election was given in time, form, and manner as provided by law, that candidates were nominated to fill the vacancies as provided by law, that voting precincts were properly established, the election officers were appointed, and that in all respects the election was held and conducted, and the votes were cast, received, and canvassed, and the returns made and declared in time, form, and matter, as required by the provisions of the Election Code of the State of California for the holding of elections in general law cities. And whereas the Los Angeles County Registrar Recorder, County Clerk canvassed the returns of the election and has certified the results to the City Council, the results are received and attached to the resolution as made here in Exhibit A. Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of San Dimas, California, does resolve, declare, determine, and order as follows. Section 1, that the whole number of ballots cast in the precincts except absent voter ballots was 643 in District 1 and 634 in District 3. That the whole number of absent voter ballots cast in the city was 2,165 in District 1 and 1,541 in District 3, making a total of 4,983 ballots cast in the city. Section 2, the names of the persons voted for at the election for members of the City Council are as follows. District 1, Eric Weber, James P. Shirley. District 3, Rachel Brotakos and Julia Panacidi. Section 3, that the number of votes given at each precinct and the number of votes given in the city to each of the persons above named for the respective offices for which the persons were candidates were listed in Exhibit A attached. Section 4, the City Council does declare and determine that Eric Weber was elected as member of the City Council in District 1 for the full term of 4 years, and Rachel Brotakos was elected as member of the City Council in District 3 for the full term of 4 years. Section 5, the City Clerk shall enter on the records of the city council of the city a statement of the results of the election showing 1, the whole number of ballots cast in the city, 2, the names of the persons voted for, 3, for what office each person was voted for, 4, the number of votes given at each precinct to each person, 5, the total number of votes given to each person. Section 6, that the city clerk shall immediately make and deliver to each of the persons so elected a certificate of election signed by the city clerk and authenticated, that the city clerk shall also administer to each person elected the oath of office prescribed in the Constitution of the State of California and shall have them subscribe to it and file it in the office of the city clerk. Each and all of the persons so elected shall then be inducted into the respective office to which they have been elected. Section 7, the city clerk shall certify to the passage and adoption of this resolution and enter it in the book of original resolutions, and it's to be passed, approved, and adopted this day, the 9th day of April 2024, and the city manager as acting city clerk for the day. So with that, Mr. Mayor, I'll ask for an action on the certification.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to make a motion to adopt Resolution 2024-17.
I would second with one friendly amendment to the staff report. The staff report under summary indicates that the voters voted for the mayor and the language. In fact, that was an appointment action by the council. And with that clarification, I would support that motion.
Accepted.
Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Motion carries 5-0. Prior to the next portion of the administration of the oath, I would like to take the opportunity to offer outgoing member, council member John Ebner, the opportunity to say a few words.
I said all the words last time, so very briefly, I do want to thank you all. I want to thank, once again, my wife, my family, and I want to thank the community of San Dimas for all the years of support, the years of ideas, perspectives, agreeing, disagreeing, but having a healthy discussion about what's good for the city. The work goes on. And as the Beatles sang in one of their songs, it's getting better all the time. And so we're going to start a new chapter of the City Council. I want to offer my congratulations to those who are continuing their service. Eric Weber and Emmett, congratulations on your elections. And thank you to all who threw their hats into the ring, by the way, during the elections. It takes a lot to do that. But a special congratulations to Eric and Emmett for their victories and resumption of their seats here. And I also want to welcome our newest, I guess I'm not going to be here, but right now, our newest city council member Rachel Batakos. She ran a very nice campaign, very positive. Looking forward to great things from you, Rachel. And I think from time to time, you might be hearing from me. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. City Manager?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I ask that the city attorney administer the oath for each individual.
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to administer the oaths out here at the podium. Can I first ask that the victor for Council District Number 1, Eric Weber, come to the podium? Me. I, Eric Weber,
I, Eric Weber,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well
and that I will well
and faithfully discharge
and faithfully discharge
the duties
the duties
upon which
upon which
I am about to enter.
I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now the winner of our District 3 election, Rachel Bertakos, can you please come to the podium? Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Rachel Bertakos,
I, Rachel Bertakos,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
and defend
and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well
and that I will well
and faithfully discharge
and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which
the duties upon which
I am about to enter.
I am about to enter.
Congratulations, Councilmember Bertakos.
At this time, we'll take a 15-minute recess. I know there are certain people out there waiting to eat some of that cake that Eric and Rachel are about to cut. So we'll take 15 minutes, and then we'll come back and reconvene the regular city council meeting.
Rachel?
Which one? We will reconvene the city council meeting for April 9th. At this point in time, would the city manager please read the roll?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Bertakis? Councilmember Nakano? Councilmember Weber?
Here.
Mayor Pro Temp Vienna?
Here.
Mayor Bedar?
Here.
All are present.
Prior to reading, to doing oral communications, I'd like to give Councilmember Rachel Batakis the opportunity to say a few words. A few.
I'm learning what a few means. This is coming from the heart. I just want to say that I am all right, let's try that again. I am honored to be sitting here today. I would not be here if it were not for my wonderful supporters, their willingness to help, to be a positive energy, to give ideas, and to just always lift me up in the election when I needed it and get me here today. Could not have done it without you. Excuse me. I'd like to also thank, my opponent who put on a very powerful election, and I'm very grateful for that. It was respectful, and I look forward to working together in the future for our community. I'd like to also say that I'm very excited to serve with the gentleman that I'm sitting here next to today. I think we're going to do some great things, and I really just cannot wait. And last and not least, my family. My friends who have always stood by me. They never tell me that I'm crazy for my ambitions. They just say, what can we do and how can we help? To my partner, Ryan, for continuing to be there for me. To my sons, Logan and Luke, they're here in the audience today. To my mom and my dad, you guys really set the stage for what it meant to be a volunteer. I can't look at you right now. I'll get a little too emotional, but you showed me what it was to serve the community that I love, and that's a part of why I'm here today. To my brother, for always being there for me and helping me with all the technical stuff that I don't know how to do. And I have to give a shout out to my friend Lionel, who helps me with all of my the odds for the election and everything. I could not have done it without you. Is that a few?
That's great.
Okay, thank you so much, everybody.
Oral communications. Members of the audience are invited to address the city council on any item on this agenda or not on this agenda. Public comment will not be taken during each individual agenda item except for public hearing items. Comments on public hearing items will be heard when that item is scheduled for discussion. Under the provisions of the Brown Act, the legislative body is prohibited from engaging in discussion on any item not appearing on the posted agenda. However, your concerns may be referred to staff or set for discussion at a later date. Each speaker will be limited to speaking once for up to 3 minutes.
Mr. Mayor, our first speaker is Pete Sluis.
I was number 2, but recently there's been quite a few Metrolink fatalities, as you all know. I'm not going to really address that, but we did have a Zoom meeting that Sherry hosted here at the City Hall conference room, and I participated. They were very, gave the impression that the funding they're very likely to be funding for the double track project for Metrolink. I'm a little more doubtful than they are, apparently, I would think, but it didn't really have robust participation. I just listened. They said it was not a capacity project, and while it's not defined as a capacity project, their intention is to run 60-some trains per day on there eventually. So this is a part of, it's leading towards a capacity solution. The meeting was geared towards the San Dimas Canyon crossing, and what it was, the CPUC apparently has told them they need to make changes. My impression is because of the light rail that goes up just north of San Dimas, just north of Arrow Highway on San Dimas Canyon. My issue is if they don't get funding, that problem will still exist. I mean, it's like the CPUC is saying that there's a problem area there, and here's the solution. But the solution is on the Metrolink side, not on the light rail. And the light rail is funded through Pomona. So I am kind of concerned about that, but I didn't really bring that up. I still have issues with the fencing, with the gaps, with the quality of fencings, but that's not something that we can control. I know Sherry is trying to do the best she can. The light rail, there's a TIRCP was supposed to give approval this month. That's what was told us last year. I saw in the budget for Governor Newsom that he is delaying $1 billion of TIRCP funding. I'm assuming that's the funding that we were looking at getting this month, but I don't know that. I'm just reading the tea leaves my way. Even if that funding comes through, the project that will be to Montclair will not be completed until 2032, so it's quite a ways into the future. Sherry mentioned the insurance costs are probably now around $200,000 a year for the crossings if we go to a quiet zone route. Initially it was 100, and I'm sure that's a rough estimate. She doesn't really, you know. And my last thing is that Claremont, to me, is still an issue there. It was $40 million to relocate the Claremont Metrolink station. It must be like 80 or 90 million now. It used to be about 10% of the total project costs. I think it's something we don't need. If they have a light rail station, the heavy rail has so low usage already, to spend that kind of money on something that's going to have very low usage, I think is a total waste. I've spoken there twice. I'll probably speak there once more. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Pete.
Our last speaker card is Margie Green.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council people. Thank you so much for the opportunity of having the Historical Society and the Walker House. I'm Margie Green, and I'm president for the Historical Society of San Dimas. We have a great museum upstairs on the second floor above Vincenzo's restaurant. And we also have hours where you can come and visit us and learn about the history of San Dimas. We have a walking tour, and that will be the second Saturday of every month. If it rains, if it's too hot, we'll give you a tour of the house and give you the history of that. The Walker House is located at 121 North San Dimas Avenue. And we will be open, the museum is open on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons during the lunch hour from 12 noon till 3. And we're open on Friday and Saturday nights for all the people that go to the restaurant or just walk on by and come upstairs. And that's from 6 to 9. The museum will be open, and we have a great gift shop. So don't forget, you can go online, and if you would, call or leave us a message that you want to go on the walking tour. Dave Harbin takes care of that, and we always like to know if people are coming. And that's on the second Saturday, starting at 10 in the morning and ending about 11:15, but we keep the gift shop and everything going, the museum and all that going from 10 until 1 that day. We're going to be starting up well, actually, we have a really big thing happening. We have a yard sale that's coming up. It's a joint yard sale between the Historical Society and the Chamber of Commerce, and we still have a few things from the Festival of Arts that we would like to share with the community. It's going to be a yard sale over behind the Martin House, which runs along the side of Albertsons. That's April 27th, a Saturday. I know that's a busy weekend. That's Arbor Day. We've got a lot going on that weekend. But don't forget about the yard sale. We've got some wonderful things. We're trying to clear out the basement of the Martin House, and a lot of other things that we have in the Historical Society that we don't have room for. So please come on by, and that's from 8 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. And there again, it's just across the street from where we are right now at the Civic Center. So please come to our yard sale and see the treasures we've got. Okay, and don't forget about the walking tour. That's coming up this Saturday. Walking tour starts at 10. We're open until 1. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak to the council at this time, feel free to come up to the podium. Seeing none, we'll move forward with the consent calendar. The consent calendar, all items on the consent calendar are considered to be routine and will be enacted with one motion unless a member of the city council requests separate discussion.
Move approval.
Take out item 6 and item 8 for further discussion and questions.
Withdraw my motion.
Okay? Items, all in favor of taking out 6 and 7, or 6 and 8?
Mayor, I move approval of all items but 6 and 8 for separate discussion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 5-0. Item 6, award construction contract 2023-10 North Cataract Avenue, Dale Park Drive, Street Improvement Project, and Sequel Contractors Incorporated, in the amount of $339,334. The approval of this project, of this overall budget project of $447,280, including construction, engineering, and contingency. Staff?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. This construction project was publicly bid. We received 6 bids for this work. Sequel Contractors was the lowest bidder of the 6. Their construction bid price, as the mayor mentioned, was $334,000. The request for funding includes a contingency, 20% contingency, as well as some engineering and design services. The contractor's license was verified, as well as the Department of Interior Relations license for all their subcontractors as well. Sequel Contractors has done work in the city of San Dimas before. Their most recent project was Eaton Road, which was completed last summer. With that, if there have any other questions.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is for, this construction contract is for work on Cataract Avenue and Dale Park. There's $71,000 coming from the developer of Brasada for this, for funding for this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, if I may. I know that there is oftentimes a tendency to go with the lowest bidder, and in previous discussions with staff as well as city manager, sometimes the lowest bidder has oftentimes not been the best bidder, meaning that we've had some problems during the implementation of projects. So I did want to just verify with city staff that they feel comfortable with this particular vendor, this particular contractor, that we do expect them to complete the work and not have any issues, that you feel that you have the freedom and the agency to look at maybe perhaps higher contract bids if in fact we have more faith that the work will be done in the manner that you set out to accomplish. And so that's the reason why I pulled this out, to make sure that you felt you had the support if you in fact did have concerns to look at other contractors if there was anything that could raise any considerations with respect to the work that could be completed.
Thank you, Councilman Nakano. We have completed a project with Sequel Contractors prior, as I mentioned, so we are confident that they will do they can perform the job. We believe in trust but verify, so we will inspect them and diligently. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have no further questions.
Any further questions?
Just Sherry, I think in my experience in the time I've been here, I mean, staff has done a pretty good job of bringing forward issues when you've identified an issue with a contractor where there's been performance issues related to contracts. So just so council's all aware, the new council, if you will, can we expect staff in those instances to bring forward? Because I know there's been instances where we did not award the lowest bidder because of issues staff was able to cite. Can we expect the same in the future?
If we encounter issues, we would bring it forward to the city attorney for his recommendation, and then forward to council.
Thank you.
Thank you. Should we do these separately?
Yes.
I'll move approval of item number 6.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries 5-0. Item number 8, approve a project budget appropriation of $158,260, award construction contract 2024-03, Horse Thief Canyon Sports Field Lighting Retrofit Project to Muco Sports Lighting LLC in the amount of $143,876.25 as a sole source procurement in accordance with the San Dimas Municipal Code, Section 328-120, and authorize the city manager to execute such agreement as necessary for the amount not to exceed $158,260. Staff?
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, Scott Wasserman, Director of Parks and Recreation, members of council. I think the mayor did an outstanding job describing this item. This item, what staff is seeking to do is to upgrade the sports field lighting that we have at Horse Thief Canyon Park. So we have a soccer field heavily used. We have a lot of soccer groups. It currently has about 30-year-old lighting for which it's becoming very difficult to get parts. So what we're looking to do is to upgrade the lighting, keep the same brand, which is Musco lighting. The existing system is a Musco system, which is why we're sole sourcing this. If we were not to sole source this, the cost would likely go up because we would have to remove all of the existing equipment and start from scratch. Our relationship with Musco has been very positive. I know we've interacted with them for years to get parts for the existing system. Moving forward, we would expect the same service from Musco.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My question was the same question. It looks like that the director has answered it. I did want to just highlight that when you do look up some public reviews of this company, there were some negative reviews that did raise concerns. It sounds like, though, despite that, you have done your due diligence and you feel comfortable that those reviews seem more like outliers and that we expect them to complete the job in accordance with the contract with no issues. Is that your assessment?
Correct.
Okay.
I've not seen the specific comments online, but I'll take a look at those. But we do expect them to complete the job as we've spec'd it out and within budget.
Thank you very much. I have no further questions.
Any further questions?
I do have a quick one, Scott. The information at Musco's website, when you look them up, has some very interesting stuff on sports field lighting, and I know that that's maybe going to come up here shortly. But one of the things that they have, and I don't know that Horse Thief, if I can talk, Canyon, the lighting project that we're going to do up there is going to integrate this particular lighting system, but it's their total light control technology where it's not floodlights, it's more directed lights that only illuminate the sports fields and not the surrounding neighborhoods.
Correct.
That's
Correct. And this technology is actually even better now than what we installed 30 years ago. So we'll have even less. They call it the light bleed out into the community. You shouldn't see that. You shouldn't see the halo. The lights generally have a visor, which directs the light down at the field.
great. Thank you. That's good to know.
Thank you.
I actually, since it was brought up, after this item, after we dispose of it, I would just like to see if you could bring back a presentation, or at least, maybe not a presentation, if you could just send information to the council related to just the different lighting options from that company, that'd be helpful.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll entertain a motion.
Moved. Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor on item number 8?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, item number 8, consent calendar passes. Okay, well, excuse me. Okay, we'll move on to oral communications again. Members of the audience, speakers are limited to 3 minutes or may be determined by the chair. Yeah, I like this group. Okay. City manager report.
Thank you. In the spirit of the short meeting, I just have one update. To the mayor that was affirmed in the position, and to the new council members, Councilmember Eric Weber and new elected Councilmember Rachel Protakos, welcome. And thank you for your willingness to serve over the course of the next few years. Serving in public office is not easy. I'm sure you've seen it or you will see that, but it is rewarding in that you are instrumental to the future of this community. And so for that, taking that step to represent the community is an incredible step forward, and what we're going to undertake over the next 2 to 4 years will really have an impact on what this community looks like for the next 3 or 4 decades. So thank you for that, and I look forward to working with all of you. With that, Mr. Mayor, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you. City attorney.
I second those comments from the city manager, Mr. Mayor, and also congratulations to the new council members and to you, Mr. Mayor, on your new term.
Thank you. Members of the City Council, council members' reports on meetings attended at the expense of the local agency pursuant to AB 1234, GC 53232D. Rachel, any comments that you would like to make?
I would just like to quickly congratulate our outgoing councilman, John Ebner. There's no way I could have ended this meeting without saying thank you so much for your service. I'm very excited for what your next adventure has in store for you, and I look forward to hearing all about it. I'm ready to get to work and ready to do what's best for San Dimas. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Mr. Weber.
I know we had some comments for John at the last city council meeting, but I think it's only fitting that I acknowledge his many, many years of service on the council. It is very weird to see you sitting so far away now. Normally, I'm looking over here to address you, so it'll be weird getting used to period to see you out there. But I'm sure we're going to see you many times out there as well. So I just want to say congratulations, John. It really has been a pleasure serving with you on the council for the past 4 years. Of particular importance, I think you brought of thoughtfulness and insight, especially the historical insight to the way the city has run things in the past. And in particular, I'm going to miss having your voice in the council. I know you're not going to be far, although, a few more yards is not the end of the world, but you will be missed. So I appreciate you and all of the work that you've dedicated to the city. Welcome, Rachel. You really do have big shoes to fill. I know stepping into a seat that somebody has occupied for 30-something years is a big deal, but obviously I think you've shown that you have what it takes to be up here and to help guide the city, and we welcome you, and I look forward to working with you. I know James left. I just wanted to say congratulations to him. I really I know that I appreciate and the community appreciates all the hard work that he put into his campaign. Running a campaign is not easy, and it takes a lot of hard work, and I just want to recognize him for putting on a good campaign. Again, thank you to all. Again, we've touched on these things before, but I want to thank all my friends and supporters in the community for their continued trust and partnership, not only during the campaign, but over the last 4 years as well. I really have made a lot of truly meaningful connections in the community that I didn't have before in that time, and I really, really value each and every single one of them. And just to mention one more thing before I move on to the last note that I have here. For those that may not remember, 4 years ago when I was elected the first time, it looked a little different. March, April-ish of 2020 was right at the beginning of COVID, and lockdowns were in full swing. And I had my swearing in right down there at the same podium, but it was with masks on. I was completely alone by myself standing down there. The gallery was completely empty, and the only photo that I have of that day is of me taking a picture of the computer screen later on when I played that meeting back. So this is all new to me. So Rachel and I get to experience this both for the first time, despite being a familiar face around here. But it is really special that I get to have people here for today, and I appreciate everybody that came out. And I know, moving on to one other item, Pete talked about some Metrolink accidents that have happened recently, and I just wanted to acknowledge that we experienced in our community a very unfortunate loss of one of our community members, Diego Sardulo, who's a young man that was unfortunately killed by a Metrolink train. And I just wanted to acknowledge him and that particular tragedy. There's a lot of people in the community that are close with him and his family that are feeling that loss. And I really, my heart goes out to not only the family, but the entire community that surrounds them, because I couldn't even imagine losing a child at such a young age. But my heart, it goes out to the family and all of their friends. And I'd like to suggest that we close the meeting in his memory, Mr. Mayor. And that's it.
Mr. Vieira.
Only a few words, right, Mayor? I'll be quick. One is I just wanted to acknowledge the staff. Well done on the Easter event. I think that went really well. I know we stopped by there. The mayor and I bumped into each other there. I know others attended. And what a great job on such short notice, being able to be nimble and transition that event indoors. I think that Jay, everyone did an outstanding job that was there, and thank you for doing that. Heard a lot of very great things from the community about it, and it was very well done. So great job. I also wanted to take a moment to thank our firefighters. I'm sure some of you saw, if you didn't see it in the news, that there was a large fire at Gladstone and Lone Hill about maybe 3 or 4 days ago or so. They did an outstanding job getting out there. 2 of our stations here in the community responded, our Quint as well as our engines, and fought that fire, and frankly, it did not spread beyond where it was. So thank you to the fire department, outstanding job. And I think it is a reminder that if you're a landlord and you have property, not that this is what happened in this instance, but if you have property and it's vacant, please ensure that you're checking up on that property, ensuring you don't have trespassers on that property or people dwelling in that property. It becomes problematic, and make sure you're doing all of the mitigation that you need to do in terms of brush clearance and otherwise to help mitigate situations like that can really fuel the fire, so to speak. Over the last few weeks, we've seen a lot of activity of the space kind. And so SpaceX has done a number of launches. I really hope people, it's interesting when you watch those posts. That is something that I think a lot of people, number one, are into because it's pretty cool. And I definitely have ran out for the last two SpaceX launches. But I think, the other part of it is it's an exciting time to be in Southern California with Vandenberg and all of this over the top and just having the lunar eclipse. So I do hope as people post, and I've seen all kinds of weird posts from Red Dawn to everything else. I hope people do tune into NASA's social media, SpaceX's social media, and please pay attention to those launches because they're becoming more and more frequent, and they are not cruise missiles and other interesting things that I have seen on social media that really aren't helpful and really, frankly, take away from the really exciting time that we are in here today with the technology. Last two things. Number one, civic engagement. Recently I had a conversation with some people, and I was sitting here thinking about all of the different people that come to speak, from Pete, Margie, and others. And people need to continue to be civically engaged. There are people that become so passionate about things that they really become the people that you look to provide you information. And honestly, I encourage anyone that's interested to do a PRA on all emails from Pete Sluis to the San Dimas City Council, and you will see that Pete sends a lot of emails to us. And should be an example, and there are many others here that have done that, that are here present today. And so I do hope that people continue to sound off and let their voices be heard, because it is meaningful, and we do listen, and we do pay attention, and it makes a difference. And with all of that, the last thing is, it does make a difference as evidenced by the elections. And so congratulations, Council Member, Councilwoman Britakos. That is awesome, and I'm very happy for you. Congratulations, Council Member Weber. Happy for you, and welcome back for another 4 years of fun. And the Mayor, congratulations, and I look forward to continuing to work with you. Also, to Mr. Shirley and to Ms. Panacidi, who I know is here, thank you for running. I think that, as I said in the beginning of the election cycle, each election's an opportunity for people to really be heard and people to really take stock in all the different things that are going on with the city. And it's a good opportunity for the council to take a moment to stop and check the temperature and what's going on in the city and pay attention to the issues that people identify with and those issues that are brought up by each one of the candidates. And so I think a lot of those things are important. And as we sit here today, it's not fallen deaf on me that when I started this, I was the youngest person on the council. 7 years later, I'm the second most senior person on the council. That scares the hell out of me. And, and we have the mayor here, and, former council member Templeman's here, council member Ebner here. And there's a lot of people in this community that have served, Terry Dipple and others, Nuss, others that I've had the opportunity to meet, and Mayor Morris. And it's an interesting time in San Dimas with just generally generations and change. So I hope that people continue to engage and continuing to engage the council so we can work together to really address all of the issues that need to be addressed here in San Dimas. To John, I am going to miss you, and I laugh at, like I told you earlier, this moment was not a moment like when you called and I was thinking about what the mayor talked about at the last meeting. I was literally out on the ocean, and you call, and I was leaving Newport or Dana Point, and I almost fell when you were talking to me about your decision. And I just want you to know, as I told you, your perspective, regardless of what plays out or played out publicly, and even the things that we did in closed session, you're going to be missed. And I do hope that we continue to talk because I do and did rely on you on a number of things, and I hope I can continue to do so. At the end of the day, it is all and always has been about the community, and it will continue to be. And I look forward to continuing to work with you. I'll just end on saying that it's all about San Dimas, like Rachel said. And so I look forward to that. And everybody have a good night. And I look forward to working with this new council here in San Dimas. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. John, how come we didn't have a timer? Mr. Nakano.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to express my gratitude for this new council, and I want to thank you again, John. I know I devoted a fair amount of time expressing how I feel towards you and your decision, and I'll have more to say later, but I just want to express how grateful I am for all that you've done for this city, for this community. It would not be what it is today had you not been a leader here, so thank you for all that you've done. And thank you, Lori, and to your family. I know that they sacrificed so much so that you could give, and that doesn't go unrecognized by me and others in the community, so thank you. I wanted to express my gratitude to you, Mr. Mayor. I look forward to your leadership over the next 2 years. You, as Ryan had alluded to, are the most senior member here, and with it comes a fair amount of responsibility to remind us what the past says, to bring forward the lessons of all the decades of service that you've had, not just on the City Council, but in your role as a member of the LAPD and as a volunteer in this community. And I know you're going to rise to the challenge and do an awesome job. So I look forward to what I think will be your most impressive chapter yet. I want to express my gratitude to Eric. I know that your desire to enter public service happened because of a tragedy in San Dimas, the death of Officer Pompey, and that inspired you to step up and to give you have over the last 4 years. You bring such wisdom, such perspective, such warmth, and such great thought leadership to our community, and I know that you will continue to do so, if not more so, now that you are in your second term, and I guess now the third most senior member of the City Council. So congratulations again on your election, and and to Rachel, a few things I wanted to say to you. I'm looking so forward to getting to work with you. This is really a momentous day for our community. As you know, 52% of our residents are women. And 40 years ago in 1984, San Dimas elected its first city councilwoman. And after that, we haven't had one for a very long time. So with you bring forward so much diversity, thought of leadership. You're going to carry the hopes and dreams of so many people who haven't seen themselves up here. I remember 2 years ago when we had Student Government Day, 2 students, female students actually mentioned to me, and they asked me, have we ever had a woman on San Dimas City Council, or is there one? And I said, you know, we did. We had one there, and they asked, when was she serving? And I said the 1980s, and you know, they're in high school, so they were born in the 2000s. And now you're going to be their representative, so congratulations on that. And I also want to point out that you're the only member of the City Council who has graduated from San Dimas High School, so you're going to bring forward that perspective. You were a volunteer in so many ways here at PTA, so optimist and so much else. And I also just want to pay tribute to your family, how much pride and joy they must feel as they look upon the dais and they see another member of their family up here. How good that must feel to know that you raised a great daughter and a great leader in this community. Congratulations, this is your day too. So with that, I'll conclude my remarks, and I am looking forward to working with all members. And Ryan, I don't want to leave you out, but and you know, our year is up in 2 years, but you are a part of that story. You bring such passion, you bring such vision, and I know that the next 2 years perhaps will be your best yet. So with that, Mr. Mayor, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. I've said this many times. What's so neat about being the mayor, you get to talk last, and so most of the time, everything's been said already. But I do want to take the time to, once again, to say, John, you're going to be missed. And I'm going to look, well, let me know what side of the audience you're going to be sitting on all the time so I can look to the other side, because I know you're going to be there saying, what are you talking about? But John, thank you very much, and your family. I watched your children from the time that I came on the council become involved, and I want to say that great job. Thank you guys very much. I want to thank the community for allowing me this opportunity to spend the next 2 years with the members of this council. I was fortunate not to have an opponent, but I want to let you know that my wife, Pam Badar, who's sitting in the audience, heard about this election every day of the week. She heard about it in the morning, and she heard about it at lunch, and she heard about it at dinner. And she's been very gracious and helped me out to sometimes try to set it aside, because no matter who you are, you wonder, how's this all going to work out at the end of the day? And my family, they heard about it at every family dinner. And I want to say just thanks to my family for supporting me. Thank you. I know there's no timer on me, so I'm going to get off this podium here, and I'm going to look for somebody to say, let's close. You can say that.
Let's close.
Good night. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
The meeting is closed in the honor of our 17-year-old San Dimas resident, Diego Cuardullo, who passed away when he was struck by a metro line.
Have the right spelling? Okay. Thank you.